Bob Arum gave an interview on an XM radio station, and where he was asked, I'm guessing, according to this article on SB Nation, I will leave the link in the description box and more likely also leave it in the comment section if you guys haven't read it already. According to this article, he was asked a bunch of questions and about several different topics of fights that are going to get made or possibly made. And I guess one of the questions was, does Manny Pacquiao want to fight Terrence Crawford? In which Bob Arum replies that Manny Pacquiao had told him he doesn't want no part of Crawford. And that maybe the Lomachenko fight is more of an option at this point, according to Bob Arum. And I guess that's what he's saying Manny Pacquiao told him, right? Bob Arum was on the record saying that he doesn't think Terrence Crawford was ready at the time to fight Manny Pacquiao. This was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. Maybe even earlier than that, I'm not sure. I'm gonna speculate about 2 years ago, 2 to the most 3 years ago. So why is Bob Arum saying this now? Why is he saying that Manny Pacquiao told him he wants no part of Terrence Crawford? I'm not saying that it's not true. I wasn't there. But I know that Bob Arum was on record saying that he didn't feel, and his matchmakers didn't feel, that this was a good styles matchup just yet for Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao being not a good styles matchup for Crawford at that time. I remember when the fight with Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao, I remember immediately saying that I thought that this was a plan. This was a robbery on Bob Arum's behalf. And there was some people that couldn't see what I was talking about. This was on my old channel. Some people could connect the dots, some couldn't. Some would never want to because it's Manny Pacquiao and they just don't like him. Fair enough. But we know what happened in the ring. We know Jeff Horn was breaking all the rules and was allowed to inside the ring. Despite him breaking the rules and his size, after the fight, he spent his time in the hospital while Manny Pacquiao was able to go about his business and, you know, hand out money to kids. What was Bob Arum's reaction? He spoke on the scorecards how he thought it was BS. Okay, fair enough. when it came time to reply to the question of the officiating inside the ring, is where he thought the referee did a good job. I read into that with the obvious foul, the blatant fouls, and how the referee allowed it without warning Jeff Horn, who more likely fought one of the most dirtiest fights I've seen in recent time. I read into it as Bob Arum didn't want to give himself. He didn't want to give up his plan totally away, and save the image he's trying to create with this fight that's going to happen this Saturday with Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn. I thought that this was part of the plan from the beginning. My reasoning for thinking that is that I'm not saying I don't give Terence Crawford a shot against Manny Pacquiao. I think when it comes to these promoters like Bob Arum, they want a sure thing, a possible future fight down the road, maybe, with Crawford and Manny Pacquiao under different situations. Maybe that fight never happens. Maybe Pacquiao does fight Lomachenko. We'll just have to see how that whole thing plays out. But I don't think Bob Arum was comfortable with Manny Pacquiao successfully defending his title in another country and then having to fight Terence Crawford. I'm sure there's more to that, but I'm sure at the root of it, that's how Bob Arum was thinking. So he had all the mechanisms in place. That was to try to steal the fight inside the ring, and if that didn't work, which it didn't, you steal the fight outside the ring with the scorecards. And while Bob Arum could look you in the eye and say, why would I do something like that? Why would I be involved with robbing my own fighter at the time? Maybe that was part of his plan, and that is why you have Terence Crawford now fighting for the belt that really belongs to Pacquiao. I guarantee you that Jeff Horn won't be able to get away with the same dirty tactics in this fight. And if he does, I think he'll be immediately penalized. And if he continues, more likely get disqualified as well. That's why the fight's happening in Vegas. Bob Arum's going to try to create his new star. Terence Crawford beats the guy who beats Manny Pacquiao. And therefore, Terence Crawford beats Manny Pacquiao without having to face him in the ring.